Okay guys, so in order for you to be able to do your homework for Wednesday, you are going to need to learn about layers in Finale. So first, let me show you what happens when we don't use layers. Let's say that I'm writing this chorale and here I go, I want to write a 1/6, so I have the third, I have the fifth, I need to put 2 more Fs. So the way we've been working with Finale, if I put an F here, this happens. They get mixed, like those two notes get mixed, they share a stem, and the stem is looking up, and that is not how we write things in Finale. Plus, let's say that, what is the next note here? Okay, there's an F. The next note is an F. Let's say that I want to write an encore tone, and since the note is repeated, I cannot put a passing note, but I can use a neighbor note, yeah. A neighbor non-chord tone, passing tone, a neighbor tone. Sorry, I forget names sometimes. So I want to put a 8th note on an E here that goes between these two quarter notes, right? So I want to make this be an 8th note, and if I click on it, what happens, other than those two notes being together and sharing a stem, is that they both become an 8th note. So we don't like that. That is not what we need in order to work with this. So what we do in order to work with this is to use what we call layers in Finale. You can access layers 2 ways. You can go View and then select layer, and let's say we're gonna go to layer 2. And if I'm in layer 2 and I pick a note here, first it's gonna change colors. It's gonna be a red note, and that's how I know that I'm using a different layer. If I write an F now, voila. So we have 2 stems for the 2 different notes, which means that now it looks like an actual chorale. And if I wanted to make this, let me put another one here. And if I wanted to put an 8th note in between them both, let me finish this. Da, dee, da, do. And now if I want to put a non-chord tone in between them too, it's easy because now the voices are independent. So now I can change the rhythms on one without having to change the other. An easier way to do this is if you go here, if you look at this part, it says layer 2. And I can go here and just pick whichever layer. Let me put this up a little bit. I can go here and just pick whichever layer. Let me move it up a little bit more. Whichever layer I want. Layer 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of them has a different color. So if I want to use layer 3, I think it's going to be green. Yeah, it's going to be green. And 4 is going to be blue. We're only going to need layers 1 and 2 for this kind of things. So that's all you need to do, really. So go to View and select layer, or use this little drop down menu here to choose the layer that you want. This drop down menu looks a little different on Windows, so let me show you how it looks like. In Windows it looks like this. Chin, chin, chin. So instead of a drop down menu, what you have are like little boxes. Oh my god, my cat just scratched me. So you can just choose any of those boxes, but it's the same, just different layers, and here's where you can find them. Now, in the documents that I sent you, you can see that, and in general, you can see that layer 1 has its stem going up and layer 2 has its stem going down. And this is by staff. So if I'm writing on the bottom staff, the one that uses the bass clef, well, usually, and all the documents that I send you are like this, the bass line is written using layer 2, because whenever I put the tenor line, which now I'm going to use layer 1 to do that, so that's what's going to happen. Like they are automatically going to be, the tenor stem is going to be looking up, the bass stem is going to be looking down. Let me finish this a little bit more. Do, dee, see. So for soprano, use the layer 1 on the top staff. For alto, use layer 2 on the top staff. For tenor, use layer 1 again in the bass staff, in the bottom staff, and for the bass, use layer 2. And just to show you a little bit more, layer 1, check it out between these two notes. Since they're a third apart, I can use a non-chord tone, a passing tone. So I can make this an 8 note, and you see that it only affected that layer, not the other one. And now there you go. There's my non-chord tone with different rhythm and everything. I was a little fast, but you get the idea. I think that's all I needed to tell you on this one. There's different shortcuts in order to do that. That's why when I use it in class, you don't see me changing this. But if you look at the number, let me use the Finale shortcut, which is Command Option on the layer number. I can change layers by doing this. You cannot see it, but I'm using that with my computer. I'm gonna send you a document with all of this, and some help and the shortcuts. So yeah, I'll explain your homework on D12, and I'll send you an email with this, and that's it. Have fun with Finale and your assignments. Bye bye.